Welcome to the 2021 Virtual Law Day celebration. Live from our studio in Northeast Minneapolis, here are our hosts, Vanita Schafer, Director of Public Relations at the University of St. Thomas, and Peter Walsh, Chair of the Fund for Legal Aid.
Thank you for joining us. Peter and I are so excited to be your hosts for what promises to be an inspiring and fast-paced program.
We have so much to share with you this evening. During this incredibly challenging year, Legal Aid has worked even harder to serve our community's most vulnerable members. And during our program, we're going to hear from Legal Aid staff, clients, and donors. And I have to say, it is fantastic working with a professional, 18 years as an anchor and a reporter here in the Twin Cities. So we're working with somebody who knows how to engage with that at-home audience. Thank you, Vanita. Appreciate it.
I hope so. It's been a little while, so I've lost a little bit of the practice, but very impressive what you're doing in the courtroom. Really is. You make it look easy, for sure. Tonight is about coming together to celebrate and make a difference. In my role at St. Thomas, I have seen up close the justice gap and all the work the University of St. Thomas Law School is doing in this area. And we are passionate about it at St. Thomas, and we are so passionate about the work being done by Legal Aid.
Our theme tonight is shining the light of justice. And that is exactly what Legal Aid does day in and day out. It provides hope, opportunity, and light for those who need it the most when things are at their darkest. And I am honored to have served on the fund board for 7 years now, and I can say that there are few, if any, other organizations in this community that are more impactful and essential to ensuring that everyone has access to justice and basic human rights.
So true. Through tonight's event, we hope you will give generously to support Legal Aid in ensuring equal justice for all. Our goal is to work together to raise a total of $100,000. You can make your gift by text. Just text Law Day, an amount, and your name to 41444. So far, our fundraising is at $61,984.
Legal Aid has been a leader and an advocate in our community for over 100 years. One of the organization's strengths is its ability to adapt to unpredictable challenges. And to say the least, the past 14 months have been difficult for Legal Aid clients. Here are some of the ways that the staff has adapted to meet evolving critical needs.
In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic and public health emergency presented new and unprecedented challenges to Legal Aid, our colleagues, and people in the communities we serve.
Once the pandemic started to hit, the transition to working from home was, I think, really jarring for everyone, but especially our intake team. We didn't know how we were going to be able to accommodate our clients and how they were going to apply for help in the same way. We started using Microsoft Teams, kind of a Zoom type program, but with a lot more functionality. And our administration ended up completely switching our phone system in order to accommodate being able to answer calls from home.
Prior to COVID, we would get around 1,100 phone calls to our Minneapolis office seeking help a month. Since the pandemic, our calls for help have increased 50%.
The number of unemployment insurance intakes that we did just surged.
The Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development created new programs to deal with the pandemic, and we had to learn those and how they were going to affect our client.
The governor issued an executive order suspending evictions. We had clients who had hearings set. We had to communicate with them about what we thought was going to happen with their cases.
No longer being able to meet face-to-face with clients, you lose something when you're not able to meet in person. No one's in the same room together. The concern is a lot of things could get missed.
Education was turned on its head. For many, a lot of their supports that they would get in classroom, like occupational therapy or one-on-one, was no longer available to them, and that's just life-altering. It took a while to figure out how to shift how we did outreach, but it also looked like creating materials to help families know what their rights were in a shifting landscape.
related to tax is people need to file tax returns, and there was no free tax preparation services. The IRS also shut down, so people weren't able to get a hold of the IRS, and we were unable to help them with a lot of their cases. We did as much that we could, and then we kind of waited for things to open up more.
One challenge for me as someone who works with youth who are homeless or at risk of homelessness or trafficked or at risk of being trafficked is that I couldn't go to shelter. Everything was shut down. Places were even furloughing staff. There was less capacity. So I couldn't have that person-to-person interaction where I get to build rapport with the youth and build some trust.
So while our physical doors had to be closed, legal aid was wide open and welcoming to people who needed our services. And one key part of that, I think, was being able to really use social media and technology to connect with our clients. Emily also did a great job, I feel like, making it so that we could do that remotely, so we could do and help our clients in safe ways.
We were able to adapt the conference room spaces that we have downstairs, turn those into rooms for remote hearings. So we were able to have clients still meet us at the office, and we had plexiglass dividers, and we could still be sitting next to the client right before the hearing started.
We were able to open our doors through our intake and through our services.
We started to assist people with getting their IRS stimulus checks.
There are millions of people who didn't automatically get payments. We saw that there's this immediate need, and instantly we found a resource that we were able to do is help people with the non-filer tool. Help them put in their information so that the IRS knows to send them money. We help the communities and Minnesotans get over $500,000 that they otherwise never would have had.
At a time when people are more isolated, feeling like there's more support somewhere from someone can be a good thing.
We're talking about opening the office, so that's a positive sign. Start being able to see clients again, see colleagues again.
People are recognizing what's most important to them in their lives. And I think another piece of it is communities coming together to support each other and finding new resources so that we can support each other.
It's really just inspiring to see the ways that we can intervene in the justice system to improve the lives of those that we serve.
It's nice to be able to help people who might not have recourse otherwise.
It's just been incredible to see all of the people who do all of the different jobs that make legal aid go respond.
I feel like there are a lot of lessons that we've learned from the past year. And I think a really important thing that we all need to do is remember those lessons. And when moving forward, how can we take the positives and not lose that and not lose those things that we've gained in the past year?
You can just see and hear their passion. So impressive with how legal aid has adapted to meet the unique challenges presented over the last year. The organization has also done an amazing job of meeting the increased needs for services. Joining us now is Legal Aid's Executive Director, Drew Schafer. Welcome. What an amazing team, Drew.
Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We are in such good hands with you and Peter on hosting duties, so thank you.
Good.
Good evening to all of you joining us virtually to celebrate shining the light of justice at Legal Aid. As you just saw, I am incredibly fortunate to work with a brilliant, passionate, and talented team of justice seekers at Legal Aid. They are an inspiration every day in their imaginative and relentless pursuit of equal justice for all in the communities we serve. I thank all of my colleagues for their dedication and spirit, especially over the series of challenges we have encountered over the last year. I know our team at Legal Aid inspires all of you in the same way it inspires me day to day. And I thank all of you for all that you do to make it possible for all of us at Legal Aid to lift the voices of people in need of legal help and to vindicate their most fundamental civil and human rights. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, we already knew that systems of law, government, education, healthcare, housing, consumer credit, employment, and family safety do not operate equitably, fairly, or justly for many of our friends and neighbors. And the murder of George Floyd almost a year ago was but one highlighted tragedy, emblematic of ongoing, recurring harm visited upon Black, Indigenous, and people of color by a legal system that does not deliver on the promise of equal justice for all. Broken systems have hurt Minnesotans every day for the 108 years we have existed to enforce the civil rights of our clients. But COVID-19 exacerbated these system failures and inequities, and it exposed the fractures in the legal safety net for people's most basic health and safety needs. Over the last 14 months, continuing through tonight, we have responded and continue to respond, imagining and reimagining new ways to give people a chance at justice. Every day, we are bridging the digital divide experienced by so many Minnesotans who do not have internet access or necessary technology at home, or the financial and transportation resources to seek justice safely. We have watched with alarm as the level of need in the communities we serve has continued to spike to new levels. Our incredible intake team in multiple offices is fielding several thousand phone calls every month from people desperately seeking legal help. Ultimately, in 2020, we provided legal representation in 8,300 cases, serving 19,000 Minnesotans facing threats to their health and safety. For these families and individuals, we made the legal system operate as a justice system. We ensured that the justice promised in our federal and state constitutions was a reality, not an illusory dream. But many more people need our help. Sadly, we are still forced to turn away more than half of the families and individuals who seek our representation due to the lack of necessary investment in our work. And this is why we are together with you tonight. There is so much that needs to be done, and we cannot do it without you. People in the communities we serve need you now more than ever before. All of you are Legal Aid's foundation. You represent hope for us to give more people a chance at justice. We need your support tonight and going forward for the challenges ahead. On behalf of Legal Aid, I thank all of you again for your generosity and spirit of giving.
Thank you so much, Drew, for those insights and your guidance. Your leadership is so valuable to this organization.
Thank you, Vanita.
Really has an impact. And Minnesota is truly fortunate to have Legal Aid advocating for the rights of our most vulnerable neighbors. Immediately following our program, we invite you to join us for one of 2 virtual gatherings. You're going to have a choice. Both options are available by clicking on the Zoom links available on this event website. The links are available right now below where you are watching the program. Drew will actually be hosting an informal conversation. The second option is the after party with games and some friendly competition. I hear attorneys like competition. With us now is the host of our after party, my good friend DJ Adrian with Events by MV. I remember when you were the star student and athlete at Central High School. Look at you now.
You're going to make me blush on camera, but thank you. Hello, Vanita, and everyone watching at home. I'm here live from the after party. We have a lot of fun planned for you. We have a trivia game with some not so challenging trivia questions featuring some elements from tonight's program. We also have Name That Tune based on law and justice inspired songs to test your musical knowledge. And also there are prizes. So we can't wait to see you.
Law and justice inspired songs. I'm really intrigued, Adrian. You got me there. I look forward to joining you at the party. It's going to be fun. Now we want to recognize our Law Day celebration sponsors for their support. In particular, we want to thank our underwriters for their leadership. More than 50 other firms and businesses also stepped up as sponsors. Collectively, our sponsors have contributed over $425,000. The support of business partners and individual donors is what makes it possible for Legal Aid to continue meeting the needs of clients who otherwise would not have access to legal representation. This year, we are thrilled to honor longtime champions of Legal Aid, Bill and Ann Hart-Werns.
One of our greatest traditions at our annual Law Day celebration is honoring and recognizing champions of legal aid and our cause of equal justice for all. This year, I am humbled and thrilled to share recognition from Legal Aid of 2 of our greatest champions, Bill and Ann Hart-Werns. Bill and Ann have been leaders in our cause, generously supporting legal aid for many years, and we are so grateful for their leadership and vision in making justice possible in the communities we serve. Thank you, Bill and Ann.
Well, thank you so much, Drew. We're very happy and thrilled and humbled ourselves to have this recognition, especially when we think of all of the great people who've received it in the past. Well, the way we got involved with legal aid really was by admiring some legal aid lawyers who were great lawyers and great people. And I think of people like Jerry Lane and Pamela Hoops and Brooker Lovick, Larry McDonough, Kathy Hockedahl, Galen Robinson. And when you see people like that in action, you want to support them. And we've been blessed in life. We were able to give to legal aid. And so 30 or 35 years ago, we started giving, and we've just kept at it. And when you admire people like that too, you also want to do things like they've done. And so over the years, I've tried to give by being a pro bono lawyer for bar admission clients and for lawyers with ethics issues. And I've also been privileged to be an advisor to legal aid when they have legal ethics questions. So in all of those ways, we've been very blessed to be able to support legal aid. And we also want to salute somebody in the legal aid community every year. And this year, we're saluting Catlin McCurdy and Sanjeev Fowd, who gave the first money to endow a scholarship at the University of Minnesota Law School in the name of George Floyd. And now I understand that endowment has reached $250,000 with contributions from all over. So when people do good the way legal aid lawyers have done good, it spreads itself out and comes home.
Bill and I have been incredibly blessed in our lives by the families we came from, by the educational opportunities that we had, by the professions that we were able to practice, and we're blessed with the family we have now. And we realize that so many people do not have those same opportunities, and we honor legal aid for the work that they're doing to give people more opportunities for growth and success in their own lives. And we thank legal aid.
Thank you so much, Bill and Ann, for your incredible generosity. I also want to acknowledge both Bill and Ann's leadership throughout their legal careers. From Ann's career as the first female faculty member at the Notre Dame Law School, to her career at Wells Fargo, to Bill's long partnership at Dorsey & Whitney, and as a leader in the area of legal ethics, we truly thank you all for your gifts to our community. Now, we want to also take a moment now to acknowledge recent losses of true champions of legal aid's mission. Jerry Rotman and his wife Lou Rotman passed away in late 2020. Jerry was a longtime board member, and both Jerry and Lou were ardent supporters of legal aid's work. We are grateful to both Jerry and Lou's lifetime of commitment. I also want to acknowledge the recent passing of Walter Mondale. Vice President Mondale was a friend and a longtime supporter of legal aid. He was an advocate for civil and human rights and for those who could not afford legal help. And in 1968, Walter Mondale was the lead Senate author of the Fair Housing Act. To this day, legal aid remains actively involved in ensuring that this act is used to protect those facing housing discrimination in our community. We salute Vice President Mondale for his service and his leadership. Now, here's a look at some of the newest innovative projects legal aid has been implementing in recent months.
Many of the people in the communities we serve do not have broadband access, do not have technology, do not have the financial means or the transportation to secure access to technology, which in 2020 became the way that you access the legal system. Realizing this, we came up with a vision with our partners throughout the state to bring technology to community locations where our clients go for help, to be able to connect with them and to make sure that they were able to get to us to get legal help. We call this the Reach Justice Project.
The legal process can be so intimidating, so making it as easy and seamless and efficient as possible for people who are already stressed out about life is a huge, huge deal.
The kiosks are set up to allow people to easily self-navigate through an electronic interface to get to the best legal resource for them.
So when we were approached by Legal Aid to partner up and have these kiosks in our office, it was honestly a no-brainer. We've already worked a lot with Legal Aid. It was very easy to say yes. It's an amazing resource.
We recognize that the services that our partners provide are invaluable to the client communities we serve, and we work with them in a mutually beneficial way to provide this additional service for people at the kiosk sites to make sure that people can bridge the digital divide. Another thing that we did to bridge that divide is literally put wheels on the ground to connect with our clients in hard to reach communities. So we are creating what we are calling a justice bus that will operate and serve our client communities in Greater Minnesota.
So being able to meet people where they are. And I think a great part of that is especially reaching rural parts of Minnesota where there is a lack of services available and people just don't necessarily know that there are services open to them.
We have two ways that we're going to use the Justice Bus. One is to actually have an office where people can stop in to see us. And then the other part of that will be for general information for people who are just at the beginning stages of trying to figure out if they need a lawyer. On the bus, there's going to be a desk, there's chairs for clients, there's chairs for the lawyer, there's places for a computer. People on wheelchairs or having other special needs will be able to meet in the Justice Bus with the lawyer. We have visions of us being parked at community festivals, at health fairs, at Juneteenth celebrations, so that people can walk up to us, can talk to a lawyer if they need to, and can get other information about legal issues that affect basic human needs. So we're waiting anxiously for the Justice Bus to arrive. We know it will be here in late spring, but we don't know the exact date. But you can bet that as soon as we get it, you'll see me driving around in it. So it's really exciting to have these two new projects, our legal kiosk located in community agencies throughout our service area, and the Justice Bus, which allows us to go to any community in our service area to bring resources to the people that need us in a way that makes us accessible. I think it's going to be a game changer for legal aid.
Just think of the impact the Justice Bus and kiosks will have in expanding access to legal services. Ann Kofel said it perfectly at the end of the video. These resources will be a game changer. The generosity of our community is what makes it possible for legal aid to continue innovating and expanding the delivery of services. We hope this evening inspires you to make a difference. Legal aid gives people help and hope. As we've shared, our goal is to work together this evening to raise $100,000.
Giving couldn't be easier. You can grab your phone right now and make your gift by text. Just text Law Day, the amount, and your name to 41444. That's 41444.
Just have to reach for your phone. Your support makes it possible for legal aid to help keep families in safe and stable homes, protect the personal safety of people experiencing abuse and exploitation, and advocate on the behalf of people with disabilities.
Your support makes it possible for legal aid to continue fighting discrimination and predatory business practices and ensures economic and financial stability for families and individuals in crisis.
Thank you to tonight's honorees, Bill and Ann Hart-Werns, who have very generously given a gift of $20,000 to help us reach our goal.
And thank you to Dorsey and Whitney for their generous gift in honor of Bill and Ann. Also, want to recognize Joe Anthony for his very generous gift of $10,000. Joe is a longtime board member, member of the Fund Board, and former board chair. Thanks, Joe.
We're grateful to Kathleen Blatz and Greg Page for their incredibly generous gift of $5,000. And thank you to Lee Cunningham for your generous gift of $1,000.
And I've got to thank Jerry and Kathleen Albanese for their generosity and support through their gift of $2,000. And thanks to Tom Tinkham, an emeritus board member, for your gift of $2,500. Thanks, Tom.
We're inviting you to give what you can to support Legal Aid's work, whether that's $100, $1,000, or $10,000. Every gift matters, and it makes a difference. And this is one of my favorite parts, Peter.
All right, Vanita, let's check in on our goal to raise funds and keep this critical momentum going. Our giving right now is at $81,189.
Woohoo! We are so close. Let's keep those gifts coming. Again, it's as easy as texting Law Day, an amount, and your name to 41444. So easy. Now, I am honored to introduce you to Risa. Risa's story is a testament to the strength of legal aid clients and how this work can make a profound and lasting impact.
Many years ago, when my kids were younger, I left an abusive marriage, and I actually had to leave my home and my job to be safe, to keep me and my kids safe, and eventually was connected to legal aid.
Risa came to our office because she was a victim of domestic violence who found herself having to fight for custody of her children.
I was a single parent, I had young kids, and I felt pretty powerless.
The father was trying to get custody. We were very worried about that because we knew there were safety issues. There were threats to take the children out of the country.
My legal aid attorney, Ann Kofel, was a wonderful partner in this process. She really listened to my concerns.
And I remember her telling me, you know, if I lose this case because I lose it, I can live with that. But if I lose this case because I agreed to it, I'll never sleep at night again. So we represented her in court, and it was a case that went to trial. And the judge took the case under advisement, which means he didn't make a decision right away. And I'll never forget, it came in a Saturday mail, and I was checking the mail, and there it was, the envelope from the Stearns County Court. I opened it right there because I wanted to know and saw that Risa had got everything that she had asked for.
With legal aid's assistance, I was granted my divorce, and I started a new life and put that difficult chapter behind me. Part of my healing process was painting, using my art to heal from the abuse that I experienced. So I painted a series of paintings that I called Woman's Spirit Rising. Those paintings I was thrilled to share with Legal Aid in St. Cloud. The first one really dealt with the abuse and the pain from that relationship and going through the divorce. It was called Grace in Sorrow. Inside of the image of the woman, I glued strips of a statement that I had made to the court that really outlined some of the abuse that I had experienced. That was a part of me, and I was stronger because of it. I had survived it, and I really paid honor to that. The other piece was called Force of Nature, and it is very, very different from the earlier painting. It's bright reds and oranges, and it was a very vibrant painting, and it really expressed for me that strength of coming through the fire and reclaiming myself. Again, I shared that painting with Anne because I really wanted to thank her for all the hard work that she and her office had done to protect me, and hopefully that it would be an inspiration for her and others to keep fighting.
When I look at that last picture, I'm reminded about the impact that the work we at Legal Aid get to do, that it's impacting real lives.
Legal Aid was pivotal in me going through my divorce process. I was able to go on with my life and build a new life where I was safe and felt secure. My kids were safe. Honestly, I don't know that I could have done it without Legal Aid. They're a vital resource for our communities.
Thank you, Risa, for sharing your story. Your strength, talents, and determination are so inspiring. And we are so grateful for all of your generous gifts, which now total, let's take a look, $84,761. Our $100,000 goal for tonight, combined with the more than $425,000 committed in sponsorships, would bring our total giving to over $525,000. That's huge.
So let me take a moment and thank you for joining us tonight and for all your support, each and every one of you. We are truly blessed to have such a generous community supporting legal aid's critical services. But hold on, there's still time to make a donation and we're not there yet. So please invite your friends and your colleagues to help us reach this goal.
Peter, we're so close. It's right there. Come on. We've got a couple of options for you. Drew's going to have the post-program conversation, and you can choose that, which I think will be very, very interesting. And also, we got your post-party with Adrian, the DJ, and some law-themed music, and I named that tune. That's going to be really interesting. So some great choices for you. Thank you so much for your generosity. You've seen in the videos what an impact Legal Aid has, and your money will be used so wisely to help so many people. And we're so close, Peter, so keep contributing. Thank you.